this was my first piece after graduation. And during university, the themes or subjects that interested me or I wanted to work with evolved around women's situation in society in a larger and smaller scale, such as in families or or in their everyday life situation. So Nora is a very strong literature for that problem. There is an emblematic play, but of course, originally it's a story of a very young woman in her 20s. So the adoption of the play started with the situation that I wanted to bring the story into another level, where a grown-up woman is struggling with the very same problems under different circumstances.
At first, we started out with a slightly different perspective. Our first Nora was somewhat weaker, oppressed, like an exhausted woman carrying all the loads on her shoulder of the whole problems of the whole family. We realized that it didn't really work. So it didn't fit me. It was false. It wasn't okay. And then we changed the perspective and we started to create the illusion of the perfect life, where there is a perfect woman, a perfect wife of a perfect bank manager, having 3 perfect children, living in a perfect home. And in this situation hits the tragedy, the strike with the Krogstad's appearance. And we realized that Nora's fall is much more shocking from the very top to the very bottom. So this is the road we traveled across.
As Esther mentioned, we started to think about this play as a tool in a way for give a critique of this dream family image in our society, which is also very present in Hungary, as we have still a kind of traditional view on family values and on women's role in society. So we started to cut the scenes with Kriszta and then also with the actors and rewrite the text with this mindset that we somehow want to create a kind of set of scenes in the feeling of a Christmas advertisement or a perfect family having a perfect Christmas.
Well, originally the play takes place at Christmas, but it's not emphasized in the text and most of the time not emphasized in the performances. But for me, I think it's a very important thing, and it helps, or it was a gift for us to grow this dream situation, the perfect family. We called it the perfect IKEA family, because Christmas is a very good time for trying to be perfect, and especially a very neurotic time and emotional time in the same situation. So I really grabbed on that, and I think it helped a lot, and it gave us a good base for this family.
Obviously, the end is much harder or much more exciting for an actor to play. But also I would say that because of this mosaic structure that the performance have, you always have to fill the gaps. So for me as an actor, have to all the time between scenes fill the gap, thinking of what happens, what we cannot see, but I have to know that it happened with this character. Mm-hmm. Going back to the final scene, you have to be very brave. You have to be very, very crazy in that scene. I have one certain point in the performance when I have literally half minute to get changed from a costumer to another. And during this period, I have to have a small nervous breakdown, which is not seen, it's off stage, and then go back on stage saying, we must talk. So this is a really important moment for an actor and a really hard moment for an actor to play, but this is the fun in that, so, and the challenge in that also.
Sure. How did you feel while working with Kriszta?
She's the coolest director I have ever worked with in theater, really. So there was no raising voice, there was no hysteria, there was no panic. Even when the final scene arrived, the lines of the final scene arrived only maybe 3 weeks before the performance, before the opening. So in normal case, it would be like really scary. But in this period of work, I didn't feel any kind of problem with that, because I was so tranquil that we will arrive at the opening, and we did. And it's really strange that after the opening and the more than 2 or 3 years playing, it changed really a lot. So the viewer who watched the opening night maybe would not recognize the performance watching it now.